So, yeah, so continuing on with your setup.
Top-down mixing.
Top-down, yeah.
So yeah, it comes from wanting to have access to like every individual part of the mix wherever you need it. Like I would read techniques of like, oh, sidechain this to that to be able to control a certain thing, like vocals to your instrument bus. And I would go to try it, and I'd think like, oh crap, I have to reset up like 8 things in my mix to be able to try that one technique. And realize that if I route it out in the right way, one, it makes me mix a lot faster because I'm dealing with fewer faders. Like you're dealing with groups, not individual instrument tracks. And two, if you ever need to hear that one part or affect that one part, you have it right there. So from the very top, and I've got it hidden, we've got our stereo out. It's just like the Cubase stereo out. There's nothing on. Why are you over there? There's nothing on it at all.
Get over here.
And then the thing that feeds that first is a bus we need to rename. It's called Fake Mass. It's a fake master channel. This bus always has 2 plugins. So I'm going to add them now. It's a BX Hybrid 2.0. And we do 2 things in this.
That's a scary looking plugin.
Totally, because it's 32-bit, so it takes over your whole screen.
And you can buy the UA version UA is my favorite plugins for sure, and they make a version of this now that we should probably update to. But again, you don't have to go spend money if you just learn how to use what's there.
Yeah. And so what this is doing is making everything mono below like 80 hertz, and then a little stereo width. We'll end up automating the stereo width in the song a lot of times. So like if there's
Like a big chorus.
yeah, make the chorus a little bit wider than the verses, just open things up a little.
Or if there's like a down kind of quiet bridge, you don't need that to be wide. You kind of want to focus that in. It comes back to the emotion. If it's supposed to feel like a little more personal and a little bit more intimate, then you might even dial it back to like 90, like actually suck it in a bit, so that when the last chorus comes back, it goes out a relative 30%, but it's all within the same region, so you're not. I think those stereo wideners can really destroy a mix when you go, you can pretty much just dial it and hear how bad it can get. But if you use it like that, it can become a really effective tool for impact.
Yep. The next one we stick on is just Pro L. We usually just like default add a gain of volume. This keeps things from clipping. We don't feed this super hot, so like when we're ready to print for mastering, we can drop that and it's ready to go. We usually leave the stereo width on in the master, which is why I said we need to like rename this channel, because it's not really a fake master. It ends up being our second 2-bus almost.
I was actually going to ask you about that. It seems like the stuff that you did with the BX you would want to keep
Exactly.
before sending to the mastering guy.
Yeah, and that's something that sometimes we'll just tell them, like, hey, we didn't have this on it. If you want to add it, go for it.
And sometimes, like, we just finished a mix for We Came as Romans, and I talked to the mastering engineer, and he has a really expensive version of it. So I was like, okay, I'm going to take mine off. Let's let you do it. So in that case, we took it off. But yeah, if it's something like that, you're going to want to have it.
Yep. The next channel is going to be our 2-bus, so like the thing that you're used to. And this one has become like a perfect marriage of, what is it called?
Precision.
Precision multiband, that's right. It's been like a marriage of the 2-bus that I've used for a while and a 2-bus that Drew has used for a while.
It's at the bottom. This is from the first time I ever had UA plugins, this is the this sounds like a plug. I wish I was endorsed by UA. This is the single best plugin I ever bought for my 2-bus, because you can go ahead and put like whatever.
I have it loaded up as the
okay.
Like our default instance of this plugin is our 2-bus setting for it.
Yeah, so it's like
it's actually pretty even across the whole spectrum.
It's just
adding a little bit of gain.
It's so great.
You can see the input level is pushed to 2, so it's like forcing the compressor to work a little bit more.
Yeah.
What plugin is that again?
This is
the UAD multiband comp.
It's just their version of multiband comp, like a C4 or C6 from Waves. And I got it at a point in my mixing career where it just felt great. It just felt like, oh my God, this makes me sound better. So, if there was one single-handed plugin that I truly have loved over the last 6-7 years, is probably this one.
So that one goes on first. The next one is the VBC Rack plugin. And I remember when I came on board, Drew was really big on the red compressor, which I like a lot, and that's why it has like the CLA Rock edited preset.
Yeah.
So that's where we started from on the red. love just SSL style compression on a bus. That's what I learned mixing through and what I just like mixing through. So ended up having that as the primary compressor, but then the red is used mostly for its drive knob. It has just some really cool like smearing and saturation, totally like a CLA ripoff trick. And then the last one, this like, I believe it's a Fairchild.
Yeah.
It's,
it looks like it's pulled from a manly Varimu.
Yeah. I like this one with a little bit of the mix on because, and I'll show you when we get the tracks mixed, I'll roll back the mix to like 100%. It does a thing where it sucks in the low mid-range in a way that tightens up like every mix I've put it on in a really, really pleasant way, just at the end a little bit. So we're only kissing it like maybe half a decibel of gain reduction at a time.
One small kiss.
Yeah, pretty much. A kiss from a rose. Next one, tons of people do this one. It's just your Puigtec EQ. So
You have all these set now to defaults from the way that we had them?
I've had that for a while.
That's great.
It makes me way faster. Yeah. So Cubase, you can set.
Can you say what you?
Yeah, could you please explain that to me?
With Cubase, you can set you can do this with every DAW, I'm pretty sure, is you can save your current settings as the default preset when you instantiate the plugin. So like on all the wave stuff, I turn all the stupid analog modeling off because it's just noise.
It took me about a year to realize that that's where all my noise floor was coming from.
Yeah.
There's a lot of records out there that have those on.
That's a lot of us. It took a while to figure that out.
So the Puigtec is just like a really gentle smile in the EQ. I remember on this record, we wanted the low end compressed a little bit more. So the Puigtec has this like boost and attenuation that you can kind of use like you can EQ it into a compressed state almost. So we just tucked a little bit on the low end and boosted more than we usually would. You notice that's like 30 hertz and 16K. So it's beyond what you're really focusing on, and it's more about feeling it.
It's like if your dog loves Emmure, then you want to make sure the 16 to 20K range is coming through well.
Exactly.
So that they can hear the intensity.
And then the last one that we stick on, it's still called Virtual Tape Machines. The Slate tape emulator just sounds really good. It's strapped across a 2-bus. Makes it sound more like a record, so to speak, more buzzwords and stuff like that. I don't know. I've used it for a while. I really like it.
Yeah, the people at Slate are great.
Yeah.
They were. I used their stuff really, really early on as well. The first drum samples I got, I bought the Slate CDs that they mailed to me.
Yeah, they had like a sticker over the box from the old product.
It was very early in the Slate days, and obviously as they grew and I grew, it was great. And we ended up collaborating, and they gave us a lot of these plugins, and we use them all the time, and they're fantastic. Yeah. And it's not that any of them do a ton of stuff. It's that puzzle building thing. It's like after a few small things from all of them, they really do help.
Yeah.
Especially when you're mixing in the box.
It's very true. So yeah, that's our 2-bus.